And watching the Patriots last night against the Bengals, and we weren't quite sure which Cincinnati team was going to travel here. And, Tony was saying, it sort of feels like the same old Bengals here. But, Tony, I still feel like there's more confidence in the Bengals being a good team than the Patriots, even after the result last night.
Well, the Patriots still have some issues, and they got masked last night because they did such a good job. They came out up tempo. Cincinnati was never really able to get the pass rush on Brady. That took Cincinnati out of their run game. So again, some of the problems on the Patriots defense get masked by one game. We'll see as we go forward, but they still have to find some ways to get the ball up the field deep to their wide receivers. They've got to find some ways to solidify that run defense. Patriots are always going to be in games, and they're always going to be in the playoffs because of their coach and their quarterback, but they have some issues still.
All right, you coached Peyton Manning. He threw a 500th touchdown. If you could have Tom Brady's career or Peyton Manning's career?
Oh, I think you definitely want Tom Brady's career because it's all about getting the Super Bowls and winning them. And Tom's been to 5 of them, and that's what you're looking for. But we'll see where it goes from here with Peyton Manning. John Elway didn't get to any until his last 2 years, or didn't win any until his last 2 years, and then he wins them. And so your career is not over until it's over. But right now, I'd say Brady's definitely in the lead.
Who's closer to winning another Super Bowl?
Oh, I think Denver is, but they have to get some running game going too. To close out games, to win in the fourth quarter, you've got to be able to run the ball. We thought that this Arizona defense was going to be a challenge. Everybody's saying, they can pressure and they can play man coverage and they've got these corners, and they lit them up. But again, that still is masking some things. When you play the Seattles, when you play outdoors in December, you got to close games out with the running game. Denver still needs to show me they can do that.
When it comes to throwing touchdown passes, I don't know, 500 touchdowns, he and Brett Favre, but what is it going to mean 10, 15, 20 years down the road? Where are we going with these offenses that 500 seems like an awful lot of touchdowns? Does anybody approach that record?
I think there will be, just the way the game is going. There was a time when 25 touchdown passes in a season was a lot. You look at Andrew Luck, and I don't know what he has now, 14 or 15, but Andrew Luck is going to, if he stays healthy, he's going to throw 500 touchdown passes. There's so much throwing, and these guys, the quarterbacks are going to play 15 years now. So I think we're going to look at it just like receivers with 1,000 catches. That used to be, wow. But now it's, if you play long enough, you'll catch 1,000 balls. That's just the way the rules are headed.
He's Tony Dungy from Football Night in America, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. You look at these hurry-up offenses, these spread offenses, that everything is passing now. Is that why we're seeing these teams that are able to come back? The Browns 25 points down. The Rams nearly came back to, challenge the Eagles. Why is this?
Well, I think, Dan, it's two things. I don't think many people know how to play situational football and play ahead football, and it's as much on the offense when you're ahead. Chip Kelly talked about finishing off games, and you're up 34-7, and how do you finish it off? Being able to slow the clock down and run. So part of it is the offense that's ahead, but part of it is, too, I think, training camp and not practicing. Defenses are not as sharp, and the tackling is not as good. And knowing situations and keeping guys in bounds, all those things that you do when you're protecting a lead, I don't think they practice enough to work on these situations anymore.
Are you sold? If I give you these 3 teams, rank the order of how much you're sold on them. Philly, Dallas, and San Diego.
San Diego, I'm all in on them. They've got an offense that is hitting on all cylinders. Phillip Rivers is hot. They're physical on defense. They're going to be there at the end of the year. Dallas, I still have to see them play some tough games. Their defense looks improved, but I think it's still a little too early to tell. I love the way they're playing, though, with DeMarco Murray being the featured guy. Philadelphia, I think they have to fix that offensive line. Sean McCoy is a great back. You got to get him some room. And again, to finish off games and in the playoffs, they're going to be outdoors for the most part in the playoffs. You've got to be able to run the ball, and you got to be able to play defense. and they're not great at either one right now. They've got a lot of things going for them, but I would say San Diego, then Dallas, then Philly right now.
Rex Ryan says Geno Smith's going to be a starting quarterback next week. What do you think?
Well, I think that's an organizational decision. And if you've made the decision before the season starts, hey, we're playing Geno Smith, it doesn't matter what happens, we got to find out about him, then you should stick with him. Don't do what Buffalo did with E.J. Manuel. But if you're not sold, if you're trying to win this year, you got to keep things open. So I admire them, and we'll find out what Geno Smith is. It's not going to help him be a playoff team.
What do you expect tonight with the Seahawks on the road against Washington?
I think Seattle will come out and play really well. I think it's going to be tough on Washington. They've got the kind of attack that can play well against Seattle. They can pound Alfred Morris. They can throw play-action passes. They can strike, but I just don't see their defense stopping Seattle. I think Seattle wins in a fairly easy fashion.
Safe travels, Tone. I'll see you next week.
All right. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Tony Dungy, Football Night in America.